So I think we should all, as white women, just admit we're jealous of black women's hair.
So this lady asks, this black lady, are white women really that scared of black women? And I'm going to say yes. And this is my opinion as a white woman who is 53 years old and has lived in the South in Georgia in my entire life. But it's not being scared, but it's a fear. And it's not a physical fear, it is the mental fear. It is what we see in you and what we see you doing and how it challenges us and the fear of that.
Are white women jealous of black women? Well, it's not just a theory, it's a reality backed by their own admissions. From envying our natural hair to fearing our strength, these confessions are shedding light on something we've known for a long time. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel where we explore trending stories, and today we are unpacking this growing conversation about white women's jealousy and fear of black women. And trust me, it's deeper. So let's watch a couple of videos to set the stage, and after that I'll be sharing my thoughts and breaking down what's really going on.
I think some white girls cannot fathom that a girl who's not white can be considered prettier than them.
But something weird that I experienced growing up, even up until recently, and I don't know how to be nice about this, so I'm just going to rip it off like a Band-Aid, but I've always been body shamed growing up, and now I've still been body shamed by white women. I've had, gosh, God knows how many white women tell me, oh, well, you're really pretty, but you have no tits. Or you're really pretty, but you have no butt. Or they'll call me bald-headed. It's always, I had no butt, I had no boobs, or I was bald-headed. By every single one of them. But one thing I noticed is that they never called me ugly. I was never ugly. You know what I mean? And I thought it was weird because it was never black women that said this stuff to me. Never black women that called me bald-headed. Never black women that said, oh, your body, there's something wrong with your body. It was always white women. And unprovoked. I would never say anything about them. It would just be unprovoked.
Also, another thing that I find just like really weird is when like I get compliments from white women and it's always done in such an off way. Like one lady came up to me and she's like, wow, I love your complexion. Like you just look very like clean and like put together. And she's like, white people get really old and scaly and wrinkly, and I feel like I'm getting scaly. And I'm like, girl, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just gonna say thank you, but like, why do you need to say that? And then I had a compliment, I guess, yesterday, where this girl was like, wow, I love your outfit. Do you get dressed up a lot? And I'm like, I guess. Like, what the fuck? Why are the compliments always like so backhanded or like just weird? Like, what kind of energy is that?
There was this job that I had and it was all white women. And I mean, I was the only black woman, only just me. And they kept complaining because I guess I dressed too nicely. And I did. I was always raised, you look nice when you leave the house. I always had my hair done, my natural hair done, my nails, natural nails done. It wasn't like I was over the top, but I always looked nice. My clothes were always nice, appropriate business attire with heels. And they would get so upset because I dressed up too much. And it just made me think about what she was saying, the jealousy and the not wanting black women to shine. So it's just really interesting that so many women have experienced this. And, I just hope that there's more awareness, because I suffered a lot at that job because of how they treated me, because of the jealousy. And I ended up quitting because there was, lies, trying to say I was unprofessional when I've never in my life been unprofessional. They gave me extra tasks that weren't job related.
People globally have watched African American women and women of African descent on TV, and they think that is how all African American women behave. So when they meet a woman who's educated, well-spoken, beautiful, well-manicured, they don't know how to handle it. They also are extremely jealous that their husbands, their fathers, their uncles, all of the men in their lives literally stare at you the entire time that you are out in a restaurant or wherever you are, market. They are highly attracted to women of African descent. White women do not know how to handle this. In America, I have experienced this in corporate America, but in Europe, you experience this in the markets. They literally act like toddlers or mean girls.
Summer before, so in 8th grade, going into freshman year, we met at volleyball camp and we ended up playing volleyball together freshman year. And then, so my senior year, or our senior year, she was driving me home because she told me that she needed to talk to me. And before we got to my house, she pulled over like in my subdivision and was like, I can't hang out with you anymore. My mom says that you're a bad influence. And I was like, excuse me? I was very taken aback. I was in honors classes. I was a 3-season athlete. I was an all-season athlete because I played club sports as well. I lived in a nicer neighborhood than she did. My parents made more money. Like, I was just really taken aback as to why she would say that I was a bad influence on her. At that time, I didn't really curse that much. I was getting a scholarship to college. Like, I just really couldn't understand how I was a bad influence other than I was black. And I was so confused. And then I told my mom about it, and my mom was like, her dad has been weird around you. And you know, in high school, that's when you start to develop as a woman. And my mom was saying it was probably because her dad started looking at me differently. And that hurt because she was my best friend and she sat there and looked at me with a straight face telling me that I was a bad influence when I was the one that was encouraging her to do more academically and athletically.
Oh, no, they know. They know you're prettier than them. They know you're very, very pretty. And they know that all things considered, if you could measure these things by rubric, that you would be prettier than them. But the benefit of white supremacy, of adhering to white supremacy, and you've probably noticed this, you know, if you're the kind of person who pays attention to these kinds of patterns, is that you don't have to live like anything is true that you don't acknowledge.
Now, let's talk about what's really going on here. It's not just about jealousy over beauty or black women being envied. It's about something much deeper. It's more of racism and the power dynamics that come with it. It's also about the black community as a whole being viewed as a threat. For example, when we talk about racism at workplaces and institutions, black people are often overlooked for promotion or paid less for the same work or even judged more harshly for mistakes. And also, let's not forget the microaggressions, those harmful comments or behaviors that make it clear we are not truly welcome in certain places. And you also find that many industries are built to prioritize white professionals while keeping black employees at the same margin. And when a black person does rise to success, it will always be met with resentment or suspicion, as though those achievements are seen as a disruption to the status quo. And again, another glaring example of racism is in the justice system. Like, from police brutality to harsher sentencing, the same system has consistently shown that black lives are valued less. And again, the fear of black people has always been weaponized to justify discrimination. So I'm thinking, when these white women admit to being jealous or intimidated, it's not just about individual feelings. I think it's a reflection of a society that has historically worked to suppress the black excellence while benefiting from our culture and labor and also resilience. And let's not forget the psychological toll this takes on the black community, like constantly facing racism. It wears down even the strongest amongst us. And it also creates an environment where we have to work twice as hard just to be seen as equal. And so, in my honest opinion, I can say this isn't just about jealousy or fear. I think it's more about control. Like, it's about society trying to maintain power structures that have always oppressed black people for centuries. And as black people rise, and as we also demand equity and respect, that fear grows louder. And now, back to you guys. What do you think about these issues? Have you experienced or witnessed racism in your workplace or community? Let's discuss in the comments, since your voice matters in this conversation. And guys, finally, thank you for watching Trending Pulse Worldwide. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that matter. And until next time, stay strong and keep pushing forward. Bye.